Hey yo, welcome back to the channel, fellas and ladies if you're watching. Welcome back to another episode of me not knowing what the hell I'm doing and taking y'all along with me. Just kidding, man, just kidding. I know a little bit. We went a little hard pause last weekend on the four-wheeler. Broke the axle. Axle is on its way. I'll be fixing that soon. But for today, we got this little project that I want to deal with on the driver's side and on the passenger side. Now what you can see is that the seam sealer is pretty cooked, crusty on both sides there and on the driver's side. So I want to go ahead and knock out all of this old nasty seam sealer, put in the new hinges, put new seam sealer around, call it a day. And with that being said, I actually went with the Bull Boost Performance hinges. Very similar, well, I mean pretty much the same thing as the Hush Performance, but not Hush Performance price. And obviously not saying that Hush Performance is not worth it. It's very well worth it, but I just couldn't see myself paying that much at the moment for those hood hinges, so I went with these. Now you can see here is the actual hinge mechanism itself, and here is the shock that will be going from that nipple there to that nipple there. It looks like pretty damn good quality. I don't have the Hush Performance one here to compare the two, but I haven't heard anything bad about Bull Boost Performance, so that's why I went with them. And like I said, the price was much better than the Hush Performance, even though Hush Performance is Hush Performance. But before we get to installing those, like I said, I want to remove the old hinges, which hopefully it's not too much of a pain in the butt on the driver's side and on the passenger side. I do have kind of a busy schedule, so I don't have too much time, so this video might be a 2-day thing, hell, even a 3-day thing, depending on what I can get done and what I have to do later on today. Let's go ahead and start by removing these 10 millimeters if they want to. One of them, this one's obviously turning. This one looks a little on the really cooked side, so that one might be a little bit harder and a pain to get out, but we'll see how it goes, man. Honestly, this thing's so rusty that I could probably just break this part off. I'm not reusing these, so you guys relax. They are cooked. That one's out. So I had to come over to the passenger side just to make sure and see how that bolt is held in, because one is actually a male and the other one, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, is an actual nut, like an acorn nut. So you have one that actually bolts in, and you have another one that's an acorn nut that goes into that. So that that driver's side is going to be a little bit of a pain in the rear. So it might be hard to see, but this one, there we go. This one is really cooked. Yeah, I gotta figure out how the hell I'm gonna do this one, guys. I know it's gonna be hard to tell on camera, but I just tapped this side with a hammer heading that way towards the door, and I got it to move a little bit. So again, now I might spray some WD-40 and let it sit while I do the passenger side, but now I'm gonna try to put the vice grips on here and try to get, you can see that the this part right here where it's white is the threaded part that sticks up, but the stuff surrounding it is the acorn nut that has obviously gone to crap. So I'm gonna spray a little bit of WD and let it sit, while we go ahead and remove the passenger side. That's good. This one's coming out pretty easily. Move this to the side. Now, okay, now I see how they have it. Okay. Passenger side hood hinge is out. This one's still in pretty decent condition, so I'm gonna go ahead and just keep this one, throw it in my bin that I have, you know, CRX spare parts. This is what it looks like underneath. Like I said, I'm gonna get rid of, I barely touched it and it came off. So I am gonna go ahead and grab a flathead and a hammer and get rid of the old nasty seam sealer. Then I want to sand it down, prime it, put the hinge, seam sealer again, take the hinge off. This here is what the nut and bolt pause on the back part, this hole here, looks like. Here we go. That's what it looks like. Now I don't know if they put that as like, I don't know, I'm guessing we need that little bit of spacer, because it looks like that's why they use it, for spacing. So we'll have to figure that out and triple check if we need that spacer or not. Cool. Nasty seam sealer has been removed. I'll go ahead and blow that off. Pause so we could get a better look at the surface, and then grab probably the wire wheel and really clean up that area really good. We'll continue to let the driver's side sit with the WD-40, and hopefully it helps out. Safety first, y'all. You guys saw I did some with the grinding with the wire wheel, but in that little corner I can't get to, so I'm going to actually use this thin this thin belt sander to get into that little area there. Now I'll take this little Brillo pad and just scuff it a little bit. Not really scuffing it, but trying to smooth it down a tiny bit. I know it's probably not doing much, but mentally it's doing a lot. I didn't record, but off camera I hit it with mineral spirits or paint thinner, cleaned it up, acetone, cleaned it all up. Then I hit it with the rust neutralizer as always. Hit that up. I'm gonna let that dry while we go ahead and start working on the driver's side, and then I'll come back and hit this with some primer, and yeah, keep going. Now let's see if this little guy decides to cooperate with us, or if it's gonna be a pain in the dick, and we're gonna have to figure out plan B. Check this out. We got movement. Y'all see that? Yeah. I'm not worried one bit about this little acorn nut. That's easy to get and replace. So, bam. Cooked. Hopefully now that little guy comes off with the 10 easily and we don't have to struggle. Cool beans, man. We got it off. So now I'll do the same thing. Flathead. Get off the old seam sealer. Take the wire wheel. Brush it down. All that good stuff. I'll show you guys the end result on this side. wonder what the reason was for the seam sealer here in this corner. If you guys know, I don't feel like it's doing anything, but I could be wrong. As I sit there and remove the seam sealer from the raggedy spots, I realize why Honda put seam sealer. Because a lot of their spots, man, just did not make like their welding points, and where some of these panels met up with the next sheet metal just sucked. I mean, look at that. Look at that. That's horrible. But it is what it is, man. It is what it is. That is what this side is now looking like. Much better. I'll show you guys the passenger side. Much better. Now I'm gonna go ahead and hit it with some primer, let it dry, and then maybe tomorrow come back and actually put the seam sealer on, so that it's ready for the real primer. So I just want to point out this big hole right there. It has nothing to do with metal being rusted away and it's not there. That was all seam sealer, guys. Same on the driver's side. Seam sealer. Honda need to tighten up. Look at this nastiness. I didn't take this side off because it wasn't as bad as the other, but I'll probably end up doing it as well. But there's that part nice and painted. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the passenger side. I mean, sorry, the driver's side now. And by the way, I'm not actually going to be putting the hinges on. I might just like test fit them, but I'm actually not going to leave the hinges on because I'm not ready for that part yet. Like I said, I'm going to spray it, prime it, hit it with the seam sealer, let that all dry up, get that ready, and yeah. But hinges are not being installed, at least not permanently. I don't do graffiti. That's horrible. Probably it for today. Let this dry. Tomorrow, hopefully, if I have the time, I'll come and go ahead and do the seam sealer on the driver's side as well as the passenger side. But it is looking 10 times better than what it was before. I honestly don't think that we need the seam sealer here on the inside like they had it before. If we do, I will address that later on, but for sure seam sealer there, a little bit here, and then again on the driver's side, seam sealer right here, seam sealer right in that area. Sorry for the blur. And then in that corner, that little hole as well. See you guys tomorrow. I'm back. It's the next day. Welcome back. Let's finish up. So you guys saw, we cleaned up this whole little area. We cleaned up passenger side little area. So now I gotta find the seam sealer and put the seam sealer, like I mentioned in the video, there, here where it was, and same on the driver's side. So I am gonna apply it generously and not be scared. let's head to the passenger side, do the same, and then we'll come back and spread it, and I'll show you guys what I'm going to use to spread it. Again, be generous with it. I really thought originally that it was something that was missing there, but it's literally just seam sealer. Here is what I am using to spread it. It's really an old brush, but I cut the bristles much lower so that this part is a lot more stiff and it could actually move this stuff around, because it is not like your regular caulking that you could swipe it easily. It's got a little bit more resistance to it, so that's why I'm using this, so it has a little bit more scrumph. And that's pretty much it. Once I put the fender, guys, I know it doesn't look amazing because it's probably not, but once I put the fender, the windshield, then I could really, the hood, if I have to come back to it and fix it, I will, but I'm not too worried about it. But for sure, you could see here, I'm gonna have to remove some of that because it's on where the hinge is gonna go. So I'm not mad at how it came out. I'm cool with that. Just gotta fix that one little part, freaking Flacco, when I put the hinge on and actually see where it's gonna sit and what of that I have to remove. But for the most part, I'm cool with it. Much better than what it looked like before. Once this dries, maybe I'll hit that with primer as well tomorrow, just off camera. I don't need to, show you guys that, so don't mind me if the next video you see that that's already primed. But yeah, man, that's how I went ahead and fixed the hinge location with all the rust that was there and the nasty old seam sealer on both sides. So yeah, all good. We'll see what we got going on next time on the next video, so stay tuned. As always, I appreciate you guys tuning in, man. You guys already know the vibes. As always, chase the dream, not the competition. Peace.